Next run. Oh my
You're
gosh.
a monster.
Though, but
Who let you in here?
Is definitely an interesting one. If you've never seen the licensed Mummy game, it is, well, I guess good for this marathon, but not very good in general. Either way, before we begin, I'm Ecdycis. I do a lot of horror games and horror game speedruns, and I have a lot of runs of questionable taste. This is one of them, and this is a licensed movie game based off the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, which I actually really loved as a kid. We're only doing Hub 1 because the rest of the game is absolutely, like, ridiculously hard. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. So, by the way, I want to mention they directly pretty much rip the music and images from the direct movie. So if you're wondering why does the music sound good when we get to the game, it's because it's not actually made for the game. It's made from the movie. And let's enjoy the Brendan Fraser trot. He has a little bit of a trot he can do. He moves well. And Hub 1 is going to be the base of the game as you find the Book of the Dead, as you may remember from the Mummy movies. It's all about the American and the British crews looking for the Book of the Dead so they can, I guess, make money off archaeology, because that's what most of the movies do. Now, the greatest part about all this is going to be PlayStation 1 Brendan Fraser, with the lives also being Brendan Fraser. I'm gonna level with you, everyone. I only wanted to run this game because there aren't a lot of Brendan Fraser video games out there, and this is one of them. That being said, the whole mission for every single level in the game isn't to actually proceed, it's to get these weird diamonds, which make an Egyptian treasure. You don't have to actually fight these guys unless you are required to kill all of them. If you can just get a diamond, you just get the diamond. And at the end of every diamond section, you push the diamond button. That only comes out when you get the diamonds, I suppose. A lot of the game you think would be like, oh, is there going to be more and more diamonds? No. Most of the way to get the diamonds in this game is going to be killing things. By the way, my favorite part of this game is going to be coming up in a moment. I like to call it Crazy Legs Brendan, because he runs like this. I don't know why his legs do that. They just sort of do that. Anyway, combat for this game is just going to be slapping people with the torch. It doesn't need to be on fire, it's just him slapping. We do have a gun. We can use said gun as well, but the gun will be reserved for specific Mummy enemies later because this game is called The Mummy, however they feature more than one. These are our fellow crew members, which we are just murdering in cold blood because we want treasure. And that's what archaeology is all about from what I have learned. If they get the treasure first, you lose. Now, the torch actually does have another property which we can use it for, which if you turn it on fire, it doesn't make it any stronger, you can just light up walls which can give you extra lives. We're not really going to be doing that all that much because, well, we don't need lives. I should also mention that whenever you activate anything, he puts away his weapon, meaning the fire is not even all that useful.
Something's not right here.
Also, if you are wondering, I'm fairly certain that it's not Brendan Fraser voice acting this. I'm pretty sure it's someone who is meant to sound similar to Brendan Fraser. In total, this run's going to have about, I want to say about 4-ish levels. They're pretty fun. They're going to have different degrees of mummy bashing. That scream happens at the end of every mummy death. If you've ever, I guess, beat a mummy with a torch, they make that noise. That's just the noise mummies make, according to this game. And everything about me wanting to play this game. I should also mention you could get infinite comboed, so don't do that. Not only am I able to infinite combo, they can also infinite combo. I should also mention my favorite part of this game, which is the fact, which you may have noticed it earlier, but the lives are just Brendan Fraser's head as a JPEG, or a PNG image, so PNG Brendan Fraser. So, another reason why we don't end up doing... Oh, I have to put this away. There we go. The reason why we don't end up doing the full game is because this game is notoriously difficult, like I mentioned earlier. The biggest reason being, if you try running this game throughout the whole game, there are levels which will always permanently kill you because there are spikes that are moving faster than you can actually run. And the only way to win is very precise timing, which is shockingly hard to do with Brendan Fraser's PlayStation 1 controllers. because this game does control similarly to the Tomb Raider series. Right now, the mission for this level is to pretty much beat up all the stronger mummies. These are also mummies, but they have hammers now, so they're a little bit stronger. Now that we get the diamond, we can make our way down. I'm saving a lot of the bullets for the 3rd level of the game because we're going to have a lot of enemies later who have shields, and gun beats shield, as we have learned in history. Anyway, we're going to make our way up. And this game also, like, this is sort of the tutorial level of the game, so they're going to teach you about puzzles. We're not going to interact with it too much, but this is a very difficult puzzle. It's yellow, but one of them is blue, so make it yellow. Okay, we did it. God. I do love how the torch can also multi-hit. There we go, we got him. I like using the gun for this part, but you can also just jump the gap and then destroy them once again. So realistically, what we have isn't so much a brutal archaeology game. It's more just you have Brendan Fraser beating people to death with a torch. Don't worry, it's not going to be a torch for the entire game. We get another weapon very soon. I should also mention that another fun part is that you may have noticed that I'm actually sprinting places. You don't actually learn how to do the sprints in the game until, like, I think the 2nd hub world and the 3rd level in the hub world. So if you play this game casually and aren't playing around with the buttons, you'll just be doing his little trot for the whole game. So we're going to take a secret path right now. We're going to push this down and break this wall. If you don't, you'll have to, like, sprint through some traps, but this is a bit easier to do, and you don't have to worry as much. And it also brings us right to the end of the level. So the end of the level is actually, also you can do this, and it's kind of funny, where you can just climb on top of that. But the end of the level is going to be more mummy bashing. You just sort of slap the mummies as they walk towards you because they don't really understand the concept of funneling. So I'm just going to walk backwards, which is our strongest weapon possible. If you're ever coming face to face in an ancient Egyptian tomb against mummies, what you're going to have to do is walk backward. The mummy cannot handle you if you just swing your weapon and walk slightly backward. It is the strongest weapon. And now we get our Legend of Zelda sequence where he gets a sword that's floating and treasure, and then just trots away. That's how I jog every morning. I just do the same exact thing. Just trot on out of there. Anyway, that was the first level of the game. We have 3 in the first hub world and then a boss level. The way this ends, by the way, is going to be absolutely rewarding, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to truly predict how and where we're going with this game. So we have our comrades here. We need to find all the pieces. Next level is going to be not this one, but the one... I can't remember his name. But the British guy who is Brendan Fraser's friend who keeps messing everything up and likes treasure. Him. I don't actually remember his name. I haven't seen the movie in a hot minute.
You always did have more guts than brains, O'Connell.
Can we just take a moment to also enjoy the PlayStation 1 loading screens, which are just showing the character like that? Because I love them. I love that they talk to you and you're able to go. Alright, so this is time for pillars. You have to run through them in sprints. If you don't sprint, it's really difficult, but they don't teach you how to sprint so much later. I want to ignore this man. I have to kill him. Don't worry, you can punch him to death. Why are you not... Torch time. Wait, I have a sword now. I don't have to use this. What am I doing? There we go. The sword is way better. And it's going to be an upgraded melee weapon. There we go. This is going to be the last major area, which is a puzzle, which I actually really like the puzzle ones. I think there's one more later in the run, but it's kind of, you still have to fight the mummies because it's not going to be nearly as safe. But we're able to do that one, and if you can actually ignore the guys, it is way quicker, as you can see. They don't actually harm us very much. Let's run through here. They expect you to do that, by the way, without the sprints. But we're going to be getting to some weirder areas of the game, because this level introduces us to spike traps, and spike traps aren't very fun. The reason why is because if you try going through them in the wrong time, it's an instant death. This game's going to have a lot of things that can instantly kill you, which isn't very good for us, but I guess it's good for the mummies. I'm trying to remember... yeah, we go down... You may also notice I am deliberately killing every mummy. The other mummies won't actually spawn unless I kill the earlier mummies. So I can go through the entire spike trap, make it to the end, and it won't matter unless I've managed to kill the rest of the mummies. So you can actually sprint through this if you want, but I'm not a big fan of playing this risky. Dying here would be very unfortunate because you only have so many lives or Brendan Fraser heads. And also having to fight mummies throughout this is also not very fun. Especially in this corridor, because you have to get like right next to these spikes to get the spawn. And then you just stand there while they kind of just accept their fate because they brought a sledgehammer to a machete fight. Anyway, get our little diamond. Let's see. Of all the games I think I've ever played in my life, I've run a lot of terrible games. This game probably has the most difficulty spike I've ever had in any game. I think one level in the end game legit took me, I think, 5 hours of actual gameplay to beat. Which, you can pick your pick on how you think I play the game, I suppose. Also, another fun mechanic that unfortunately I won't be able to see, but I kind of want to talk about because it annoys. Also, you can just run past that spike. You don't have to actually go through it. You can just run around it. Because the game didn't intend for you to run on this, but you can do it anyway. But the mechanic I want to talk about is the fact that for certain ledges, if you're making a jump, you can't have a weapon equipped. If you do, it just won't let you grab the edge, meaning you have to put away your weapon before you can do it. If you jump, you just jump to your death. And that happens way more often than you would think. There's actually a guide written online on like an old GameFAQs forum that says, yes, you need to unequip your weapon. Because everyone was complaining that that jump was the hardest jump in the game. It took me hours to achieve because I didn't realize you could put away your weapon. Something will always never get old to me about mummy funneling though. Another fun part is that these enemies actually don't change for a while. You'll pretty much be getting the same mummy enemies throughout the entire game. Even if we manage to go all the way to like the final hubs until like the very, very last levels, we would be getting those same sledgehammer mummies. Because they really do love showing up. I should also mention with the puzzles, the game is going to become deceptively hard because it sounds easy first, like, oh, all I have to do is push the button. Later on in the game, it's, oh, if you push the button, there's poison underneath the button, so you just poisoned yourself and you died. So it's great. Anyway, you don't actually kill the mummies here, but not killing the mummies means they can hit you while you're doing animations because this game lets you have that. So I killed the mummies because we need to push these 2 cats. Also, I should mention another thing, that if you're in combat, you can't push things. So you have to wait to drop combat, because Brendan Fraser won't actually drop his fists. If his fists are still up, he won't decide to push it. He'll just decide violence is the key, and keep punching the wall despite it not doing anything. If you're wondering why this game was made, there's a very easy answer, and it's called money. They wanted a licensed Brendan Fraser video game. Did you know, by the way, that they made Brendan Fraser video games for every Mummy movie, and I really want to play the Dragon Emperor one and the Mummy 2? There's also Game Boy Advance games, the animated Mummy movies with animated Brendan Fraser. What else do we have for Mummy movies and games? I think they also made a Scorpion King ripoff too, which I have not tried that one. By the way, it should also be mentioned, there's no health. The health are potions you find laying around. If you die, you checkpoint back to the last diamond you grabbed. So don't die. Even better, if you grab the diamond and don't make it to the door, you still have to do the whole thing again because the checkpoint's after the door, usually. Alright, here we go. The best strategy for mummies is to let them come to you while just beating them in a corner. They won't actually be able to fight you if you just machete in a corner and do the whirlwind. Whirlwinding is actually the best part. By the way, I just want to mention, like, I know it sounds like I'm ripping on this game a lot. I really do love Brendan Fraser, the Mummy movies, and I do have a soft spot for this game, no matter how terrible it is. Like, I think if you've never actually seen the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser, you absolutely should. It's probably one of the best experiences in movie you can watch because, well, one, it has Brendan Fraser, and who doesn't love Brendan? I firmly believe he'll be coming back soon in the world of cinema. We'll have a renaissance coming to us. We had a renaissance back in the early 2000s and the late 90s where we had a bunch of killer Brendan Fraser movies. I think he'll firmly be coming back. And as you guessed it, we have another section where we funnel mummies into us while we wait to get the treasure at the end. Alright, now that we get all the treasure, you can then unveil another one of those Zelda openings. You can actually skip them. I wanted to show the first one because the sword is like floating. But now we have one more level, and we're going to jump the shark a little bit here because I know you guys have been enjoying all the mummy funneling. Don't get me wrong, we'll have more mummy funneling. We'll have more. But before we get to that, I'm going to go to a section that you never would have imagined in any video game. There's a lot of selling points out there in games, but we're entering right now the Caverns of the Nile, which means this is a water level. And I bet you're wondering, how do water levels work in this game? Well, first things first, if you touch the water, you die. Brendan Fraser cannot swim, so touching water means that you are immediately dead. I do not want to demonstrate it because I actually really need those lives for the boss level, which is coming up after this one. And that's also going to be the end of the run of the boss level. But we're going to need those lives. It should also be mentioned that... Oh god, I might die here. Don't die, Brennan. We're going to need you to live. Every single level in the game, the more you play it, gets longer and longer. So the first level is actually really short, but then the more you play, the longer it gets. Normally, I think the world record for this category is about 25 minutes, but we have a bit of a higher estimate just in case things go wrong. If you're wondering, I'm the only runner of this category because I think 5 other people wanted to run this game, but then they dropped out of running this game because they saw the gameplay, and they tried playing it. Which I think is a very good testament to this game's love. There actually is a cool any percent route, or I guess New Game Plus route of this game, where you instantly go to the final level of the game by save warping, which is definitely an interesting way of doing it. Also, I guess just as a story thing, if you walk in there and don't get out in time, you die. Because that's how this game works. Alright, so we're going to enter a mummy combat section. The way you want to do it is just, I guess, run into this mummy and die and lose a life, because that's what we do. We get our little Brendan Fraser head. Don't worry, we have plenty of them. All the ammo I have as well is going to help very much. Alright, here we go. Alright, he's dead. By the way, if you don't kill that mummy, the other ones don't spawn, like I mentioned. So you need to actually kill them along the path, or else you won't be able to get to them. There's also, a trap over there for the treasure. You may be wondering what treasure does, by the way, because I haven't, glossed over what treasure does. It's not really useful for the main run, but you have to use it in the, if you want to beat the game, you definitely need treasure. Because the treasure, I can actually show you. Hold on, let me, we'll have another room with a fight in it. So what the treasure actually does, if you collect enough, is it creates a little treasure. Now, but you're wondering, what does Brendan Fraser do with the treasure? He throws it, like a grenade. You also have dynamite, which you can also use. I don't know why Brendan Fraser is collecting treasure just to throw it at people, but that is why you're collecting treasure. It does the most damage in the game out of any weapon. So it's supposed to be a rare collectible. I want to also mention that this game is a part of the Universal movie games at the time, so any licensed Universal game would share the same engine for this. I actually don't remember the other one. It may be the Grinch? Actually, yeah, it is the Grinch. There's an advertisement for the Grinch in the Mummy manual. If you look at the case, there is an advertisement for the Grinch in the book. Of all the games that can advertise for this, it's the Grinch. So if you're wondering who's the best friend of the Mummy, it is actually the Grinch. God, one. We have more mummy funneling. Also, just, let's demonstrate the power of treasure. It will immediately kill everything. Treasure is actually really good to collect. The only issue, though, is collecting treasure isn't really feasible because it loses too much time, and there's, moving Brennan to do it isn't the best feat. Alright, so if you're wondering for this puzzle, avoid the blocks. Just run left. They won't fall on you. Also, this makes it feel like they gave up on the whole mechanic of sliding because it's just covered in sand. Alright, I know you all love it. I know you all enjoy it. It is time for additional mummy funneling. Because this is the best method in the game. Pick a corner and funnel mummies into it. You see, killing mummies and baking are two very similar things. You need a funnel. If you learned anything from this game, it's a funnel. Just stand here, let them walk into you, maybe walk a little bit backwards, funnel them. This was peak graphic at the time as well, just slapping mummies with the machete, standing in a corner. They actually made a recent mummy game called The Mummy Demastered, which is like a Metroidvania-style game that's actually very good. No, that's not what gaming is about. Gaming is about having mummies walk into you and slashing them. So you just keep slashing those mummies. This is actually how many spawn, by the way. It is just infinite. There are still mummies spawning in, by the way. Where's the last mummy? Wait, where did he go? I am definitely missing a mummy. Wait. There he is. He got stuck. Sometimes you have to hunt them down and beat them. Okay, so now I know what you're wondering. What could be better than mummy funneling? Okay, I'm going to say a few words for you. They're going to have no context after I open this door, okay? Alright. This is the only game you'll ever hear this phrase get uttered. But this game features, and say it with me, everyone. Brendan Fraser log surfing. Yes, he's actually going to do it. So, you have a log surfing portion of the game. If the log gets hit or you get hit, you die. This is a life, by the way, and he can jump on the log and control it. You have to duck, and you have to jump over the woods that fall. If the log hits the walls, by the way, you do end up dying, so don't hit that. If you hit the walls, you die. Also, you can, like... I'm holding left and it won't let me turn. It actually does have invisible walls. Look at the way he masterfully controlled that log. And then he collects it for me and pushes the button. This is the only game that features multiple portions of Brendan Fraser log surfing. By the way, yes, you heard that correctly. Multiple portions. If we played this game all the way through into the full run, not only would you have another log surfing section, he would be doing it through blood this time. We're not going to be able to see a lot of things, so let me tell you what we may be missing from a full run of this. Although a full run would take probably 2.5 hours or 3 hours, which is a bit daunting for a game this difficult, because if you fail a level, you go all the way back to the beginning if you run out of lives. So this game is rather unforgiving. Also, right now we're on shield enemies. There's two mechanics for them. One, walk backwards and let them put down their shields. Two, and the better strategy, use a gun. Because guns apparently break through shields. You see, a shield is useless against a gun, is from what I've learned. Unlike Lara Croft, by the way, we actually do have ammo. You don't get infinite pistols, so that is why I've been gathering so much ammo, because the shield mummies are very annoying and I have very little health. But anyway, for things that you missed from, oh god. Oh god, that was a bit close. Hold on. Let's play this a bit safe right now. Alright, there we go. There is health up here, so we're gonna grab it. And that's gonna make us nice and safe. But for things we miss, there is a section where you have to run away from flies, summoned by, the mummy. The actual mummy, who's the one from the, you know, the title. He summons flies, and you have to sprint away from them. There is a Pac-Man section where you have to run away from the mummy's wife. In a game of actual Pac-Man. I'm not kidding, there is a Pac-Man field where you need to light up the ground. And also, there's mummies that only work by throwing grenades at them. Anyway, we've done the 3 major levels, and we've gotten all the doors, so now we're ready for the boss. Now, but you're wondering, hey, Ek, if you're on the final level and you already, like, you know, you're just 23 minutes in, why is the estimate 33 minutes? Okay, so, you just heard me mention that this game has a a Pac-Man section. Benny's Downfall is going to be probably one of the weirdest levels you're going to imagine, because I bet you're wondering, what's better than Brendan Fraser log surfing? Just enjoy this cutscene for a moment. We could skip it, but just enjoy the beauty of this.
to get the book.
See you later, O'Connell!
You're gonna get yours, Benny.
Okay, it's time for Brendan Fraser Donkey Kong. The boss of this level is Brendan Fraser Donkey Kong. If anything touches you, you die. Everything is a one-shot here. Every checkpoint will give me lives, but the reason why my estimate is... I died, by the way. Also, if you die, you start back at the beginning of the Donkey Kong section. My estimate is so generous for Brendan Fraser Donkey Kong. So the strategy is you want to wait, and then you jump. And then we run slow and we keep jumping. I don't know how Benny is able to get to the Donkey Kong traps every time, but he finds a way. So this next one is actually going to be a trap. You don't want to go up until it passes you. If you try going up at all early, what will happen is it will just break your hands and you'll die. So you'll see me run slow over these ones. You can jump on top of them, by the way. So if you do jump on top, it's a bit generous, but it does get pretty rough. I tried learning this blindfolded, by the way, if you're wondering why I can do these. Let me wait. It took me a while to learn that, by the way. If you don't wait, you die. You may notice there's a trend with this game that if you do thing, you die. God, no! Okay, that was at the end. Oh, no! The game's doing... I was like, oh, we're actually about to beat it, because that was the last one. And then I was like, nope. Back to Brendan Fraser Donkey Kong round 1. This is also what makes or break the world record for this game. If you're trying to get world record, you have to get good at Brendan Fraser Donkey Kong. I have to wonder, though, why did Benny think this was a good idea, and why did they install these Donkey Kong traps? Because, like, mummies are supposed to be in pyramids, right? Why do they have, levers? Like, look at that, there's a lever that does this. Why would a mummy's tomb feature this? Any of this? Where are they getting all of the fire? Like, fire, I'm pretty, like, oil is a finite resource. Where are they getting, like, fire that works rhythmically like that? Alright, we did it. We're on the finale. We did it. Okay, time hits once we are off the screen. And we're gonna play out the ending cutscene so you can truly enjoy it. Almost done. That was actually a really good Donkey Kong section. And time. Alright, now if you're wondering why Hub won such a good speedrun, here's the ending.
But Master, what about me? Oh, my good friend, you are alive. I was so very, very worried.
Goodbye, Benny.
And that's Benny's downfall. I don't know that happening in the movie. Ben Fraser just punches him. Okay, since we have a bit of time left over, and that's actually really good, let me talk really quick, because I might actually have an idea for something I might be able to show, if the marathon organizers will allow it, because I mentioned it, and this game does have cheat codes that let me go to any level. Let me ask the marathon organizers if I can show one more thing off. Oh, they're telling me I think I can go for it. All right, it sounds like I can.
You see?
Yes.
Can you believe?
Yes.
Let's see.
We just
I think I should be able to. Let me just make sure I can. If I don't have a cheat code, though, I can't do it because my I might not have it though.
really sure that was my fault.
Yeah, I don't think I can get
A
it
couple of exits out of this place.
because I can't find a cheat code that gives me all the levels, and I can't beat the next few levels because that would take probably at least an hour. Let me just double check if there is one that kind of gives me in all levels. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can unlock all levels. I can't really show it then. I wanted to show off the Pac-Man level because normally my memory card does have it, but I had to use alternative means to kind of get this game running because my capture card broke. Actually, wait a minute. I might be able to jerry-rig something really quick, but it won't have audio. Nah, I think it'll take too long. But there is a Pac-Man level. I never actually played the Cairo level, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, the game just kind of puts you in more hub world, just there is gold. Also, you get a shotgun here if you just beat the level. But yeah, this was the PlayStation 1 Mummy game. It is truly something. I've tried breaking this game by many means. You can actually find ways to go out of bounds and such. By hopping on out of bounds, stuff like this, you can kind of just force Brendan Fraser to move, but... the problem with grind, I said in chat like I do invincibility, the levels would take me just by sheer length, like an hour. For some reason, like, levels at this point in the game start getting really, really long, and I tried finding glitches that you can actually do, like, what? I know you can, like, hop up here, and then you can, like, hop on the mummy's head, like, right about there or so, but I haven't been able to find much more than that. So, anyway. I'm gonna send it on over to the marathon hosts, the organizers, and we'll be gearing up for the next game, which is done by, I think, a very interesting runner. It'll be a very interesting switch from the old school Mummy stuff. Anyway, I've been Ecdycis. If you like speaking games, check me out sometime. But yeah, also watch Brendan Fraser. He's great. That's all I got for that. Just watch Brendan Fraser.